Howdy, y'all. My name is Sarah, and this is Sarah's Cardboard. Welcome back. Sorry it's been a little bit since I was here, though I did forewarn I don't have an official schedule that I will be posting and uploading on. And that's what kind of brings me here tonight and kind of what I want to talk about. I have returned back to doing online live tarot readings because TikTok has made it to where you can't post a link in your bio until it is time for you to, or like until you hit 1,000 subscribers or 1,000, until you hit 1,000 followers on TikTok. And so I went back to what I did in the beginning to raise my level of followers from 100 or so up to the 500 I've been sitting at, and now I'm closing in on 600 in just 3 nights of me doing TikTok live. And so I'm doing real world application steps that I can take to get the results that I want to take. And then on tonight's live, it was brutal and I was having a really hard time. And the guests that were stepping in and asking questions were very incompatible with the services I want to offer long term. And all of the instances that I can think of circle back to the exact same thing that has me going, okay, I clocked out from live. It's the middle of the night. I do still want to talk. I still do want to teach, but I want it to be on my terms and I want it to be in a way that progresses and moves forward. What I want to achieve. And what I want to achieve more than garnering TikTok followers is I want to establish my foundations and my frameworks and actually put my pen to the paper, my foot to the ground, walk the walk and talk the talk and do the real world application steps that it takes to achieve my successes. And tonight I got both the opportunity to witness what I meant and also explain it. So let me explain it here. Witchcraft is not a catch all, magically make things happen kind of tool. It just isn't. You have to do the real world application steps in order to receive what you want. Witchcraft is nothing more than setting your intention with anchors that you can see or anchors that you have a connection with, like ingredients and spells and herbs, and talismans and any sort of thing like that. Even candles might flame. For example, that's an anchor that I can utilize to set an intention because my mind can physically see that, give it meaning, and keep it working. So, witchcraft is not the thing that makes it happen. Witchcraft is a tool that you use in the making of things happen in order to achieve your results. My example for this is I want to run a business where I provide real world actionable steps to people who are ready to take forward momentum in their life and they just need some help doing it. I provide advisement online and in person in time slots where I utilize tarot and intuitive information to analyze where they're at, what they're wanting to achieve, what the goal is, etc., making sure that it's documented in a way that they can receive it, and then giving them action steps to move forward. I love this. I love the clients I've taken on. I love the work that I do. But ultimately, I can only do that work when I myself am taking the forward actions to find people who want that work done, who want to work with somebody like me. This means becoming visible. This means becoming consistent. This means becoming replicable and integrous in the way that I produce my content and integrous in the way that I show up in my space. Um, and so I want a business. I want a YouTube channel that garners the attention of people who want to utilize my services. I want people who will view my TikToks and look for my services to try to garner for themselves and utilize. And so the real world action steps to having the business that I manifested, all intents and purposes aside, is I have to make it accessible. I have to make a website, which I'm in the middle of doing right now. I purchased the domain. I have it half edited. I did a photo shoot today for the remaining pieces that I needed. I've already typed up all the information I wanted to share on it a couple months ago, so I'm revisiting what I already typed up and I'm sharing it like that. And then it's putting the actual website together. Me not able to give that website in a link in bio on TikTok until I hit 1,000 followers does not change the fact that I need that website. Um, a lot of payment methods that I want to utilize for my services, I just can't utilize right now because I'm not set up in a way that allows me to do it. And the website that I'm going to be creating, that I'm in the middle of creating, has systems in place to accept payment. That is a real world actionable step that I can take to achieve what I want to achieve, which is to receive income for my business. And so, yes, you can say that it was magical that I now have more followers than I've ever had, and I have more interactions on any videos than I've ever had, and people are looking towards me to have insight and to find answers and to utilize as a service provider. You can call that magic, but it wasn't magic that brought that to me. It was the years spent learning tarot, the months spent developing my own tarot language when tarot wasn't sticking. It was learning to translate numerology into commonplace English and make it accessible and tangible and replicable that enough that I can use the same exact mechanism for everybody. It is spending the long nights cross referencing several books that I've rented from the library and several videos and websites where I compile correspondences for ingredients into a master list that I can utilize to build spells. It's not, it is magical, but it's not magical to do the real world action steps required of me to provide what I want for myself. Um, I got asked about a spell idea that somebody could utilize and research on their own. And I said, "Do you consent to me building you a kit?" And they said yes. And within 24 hours and about 7 hours worth of effort, I was able to cross reference all of my grimoires, all of my previous spells that I've done for clients, everything that I've done for myself, compile it into an actionable document that explains what the spell is, how it works, the energy, how the energy is going to work, how it's going to attach to something, what all the correspondences are, why they're in each layer that they are in, what you can do while the spell is active, into a 5-page document that explicitly teaches you how to enact this spell. It took me 7 hours to do that. And to me, that seemed like such a long time. To me, it seemed like I was spending forever getting it ready. But in 24-hour turnaround, this person that had asked just for a suggestion on a spell that they could do themselves, they were delivered a fully functioning ecosystem that they can use long after this one spell. That is competency. That is every single amount of real world action steps that I have taken to make my business have what it has. What I wanted was to have a 48-hour turnaround for what I wanted to provide people. And now I'm proving that I can do it in 24 hours. Granted that I have the ingredients in my vicinity to put it all together that quickly. And so, yes, it's magical that I am that smart, I guess, or that I'm that organized and that prepared. You can chalk it up to magic if you want, but it's only magical because I spent the hours getting ready to do it. And so, magic isn't just you sit down, you make a wish, and it happens. It's you sit down, you make a wish, and then you assign yourself the steps that you need to take it to bring it to fruition. If you want to lose weight, you're going to have to heal a part of yourself that caused the weight gain because stress can make you keep weight on. Trauma can make you keep weight on. Food sensitivities can make you keep weight on. your body physically being injured and unable to move in a way that other people's body moves, that is something you have to heal from. And so when you make a spell to do weight loss and then you have to pair it with something. You can't just expect who you were before the spell to be the same person you were after the spell. And a majority of the time, the people that did a spell to lose weight and then they did lose weight, they paired it with like self affirmations, self love work. They did it with like investing in like items that they would like for themselves. They spent time genuinely convincing themselves that it is okay and it is safe for them to lose the weight. And then those are all real world action steps. Now, maybe it's not cutting calories and maybe it's not taking a walk, but they still did something that genuinely brought them closer to the fruition of the thing that they're trying to achieve. And the thing that they were trying to achieve wasn't losing weight, it was to be healed from weight loss. And so when you apply this in general to life, um, and you're someone that is desperate for answers and you're desperate for change and you're wanting so desperately for something to come as a result of magic, and then somebody tells you, well, you need to do the work to prove that that's what you want, and your response is, I've already done the work, or I don't know what I'm supposed to do, or there's a reason why I'm coming to magic, I'm desperate for a different option, then you're not going to receive the results, because you didn't do the work. If you did the work, you would have it, right? Now, this is not to spiritually bypass trauma, religious trauma, racial discrimination. This is not to bypass poverty discriminations. This is not to bypass mental health and disability uh, discrimination and like impoverished systematic oppression. Like, you're not going to be able to magic your way out of those either, let alone work your way out of those. Like, that's just the reality of it. What I'm talking about, because you can't, it's not like you can wish for a system that it doesn't exist in. But what you can wish for is for you to have the tools that you need to navigate those systems correctly. So let's say you are an impoverished individual who is from an ethnic background that is systematically oppressed in the United States, and you're trying to garner back prosperity that has been withheld from you and your ancestors. The way that you do that is first you have to heal your ancestral trauma. You have to actually heal the fact that you are an impoverished, systematically oppressed ethnic individual who is set up to fail. You have to relieve yourself of that narrative that you're telling yourself and keeping yourself stuck in. That's number one. That's the first thing that you do. The second thing that you do is you restore the tools that you should have had to begin with, but don't. This includes like education. This includes nutritious food. This includes developing stable relationships with people around you. This includes career building. Um, this includes like moving into a location that has walkable, like even walkable distances if you don't have a car. You have to do something in the real world aspect that restores the balance of whatever has been deprived of you as the result of being a systematically oppressed ethnic individual that is impoverished as a result of it. You have to restore balance. And then from there, you're barely at an even playing field, and then you get to play the game. And you spent all that time just trying to heal the thing that was causing you not being able to play the game of life. And then now that you're able to play the game of life and you don't know what it is that you're actually aiming for, you're more than likely going to slip backwards into something you're not supposed to do. Or you're going to slip away from the resources you've built up for yourself, or you're not going to know what to do with it, and so you become stagnant. And then if you were to turn to witchcraft at that point to try to get X, Y, and Z, but you're already telling yourself the new story that you're stagnant where you're at because you see where I'm going? Because you're telling the story that you are an impoverished individual due to be systematically oppressed as an ethnic person. Like, if you are still telling yourself that story, even when you've done so much work to heal yourself from that system, you're still a part of the system. And so there comes a point where if you are really and truly trying to utilize witchcraft to bring you to the next level, you have to know what that next level is. You have to know what steps it's going to take to get there. You're going to have to know what you kind of person you're going to be once you get to that point, how you're going to keep it. And so witchcraft isn't a fix all, you're just done and everything is perfect and it's good for you. You have to take real world action steps to support the intentions that you're setting with the universe. Because whether you believe in magic or not, you're still going to have to do the work. You can wish all you want that your teacher is going to postpone the test tomorrow morning. That way you have an extra day to study. But if you don't study during that extra day, that wish was for nothing. You still ended up with the same result. You wished for the wrong thing. You asked for the wrong thing. And so I had to not only view that tonight in my live streams, and that was really frustrating. I struggle very hard with receiving people who tell themselves stories that keep them stuck, who are their own worst enemy, who make it harder on themselves to achieve the goals that they want to achieve. Because I've spent so long taking that part of myself out of myself. Now that I have removed systematic oppression that I was facing, and I have removed imbalances that were caused by my systematic and systems, impoverishment, and oppression. Everything that I lacked in, I've restored. And now that I've restored and I've healed and I'm here where I wanted to be, my choice is either I can become stagnant where I'm at with the stories I tell myself, or I can keep moving forward and push beyond that. And so, my personal example of this is like building my website. Every website engine that I've utilized to try to create my website has been really daunting. It has been not user friendly. It is not as easy as it used to be. I mean, I used to make websites all the time, and now suddenly I can't make a website to save my life. And I want my website to look really pretty and not have photographs that you pull off the internet, but I didn't have a photo shoot of the items that I wanted to have on my website. Nor did I even know what photos I would want on my website because I didn't know what I was offering on my website. And so I can say all day long that I want to have a website for my business, but I wasn't taking the real world steps that I needed in order to actually build my website. You see where we're going with this? I hope this is all making sense and I'm not just on a huge ramble. I did just get off of a really hard live stream that genuinely upset me, and it was so hard not to take it personal because in the end of the day, I still provided my service. I still helped those people. They still gained insight from me. They still got a way forward, but I had to claw through mud to force it, and it just took a lot of emotional labor. And there's a reason why I don't do TikTok lives anymore. It's because that emotional labor is exhausting and tiring, and it makes me feel inadequate. I want to offer services to people who want to do the work for themselves. But because I've been in this energy of not wanting to do the work for myself when it came to my website and just telling a story that I can't do it, I ended up in the energy of people who were telling themselves stories of things that they cannot accomplish for themselves. And so I had to take a step back, take the real world action steps to accomplish what I want to accomplish. And now I have the magic flowing towards me. Whether you believe in magic or not doesn't matter. What matters is I set the intention that I want to have a business where I am paid fairly and compensated for the time and effort and craft that I have put together in my experience in witchcraft and tarot reading and advisement, and all of the experience that I have had in my previous jobs that have gone into this. If I really and truly want to provide a service that does all of that, then I have to take my own service and put it together and actually make it out there and stand firm on it. So I don't know how much longer I'll do the TikTok lives. I don't know how much longer I will enjoy it, and doing the free labor just for the sake of followers. I know I'm gonna have to adjust my mentality on that and like really exchange the monetary. That's probably what it is. I probably just need to transmute it, honestly. Transmute the um, feeling of inadequate. What's the word I'm looking for? Um, like me being paid for my services, right? I charge $70 an hour for a reason, and yet I'm on TikTok live for 3 hours. That's 2,000 or 200, $100, two, $210 at the end of the live stream. And I did not receive $210 worth of experience or $210 worth of content or $210 worth of anything because my mind wasn't going towards what magic I could do. And so I probably can just transmute my energy where I do. See, again, it doesn't matter if you believe in witchcraft or not. I need to sit back and accept that a follower is the equivalent of X amount of money. So as long as I have the goal, or not even a goal, but as long as I'm accepting of a follower in exchange for money, then it's worth it because it brings me one step closer to my goal. And so it's not necessarily that I'm doing witchcraft to receive followers or doing witchcraft to garner the respect that I need in my craft. It is a mindset change. But I'm giving it a witchcraft terminology because that's the way I function, that's the way I operate, that's the way I understand the universe and understand myself. And so I'm going to call it a transmutation. I'm going to transmute every free amount of labor I give online into a follower. And then I have to trust that the real world application matters, that I'm able to show up and still be confident, cool, relaxed, calm, and centered while people are coming and going from my live streams in gross and negligent ways that take advantage of me and my energy. And I have to accept that it's not taking advantage of my energy, it's an equal exchange. So, that is a real world action example that coincides with magic that I developed right here, right now, on camera in front of you. A real world action step that I can take to bring myself one step closer, which is I'm struggling to be on lives. This is really upsetting. I don't feel like I am receiving reciprocity for what I'm doing. I'm not receiving proper payment for what I'm doing. Okay, so what can I receive instead so that way I can get to my goal? Well, my goal right now is not to be paid $210 for a 3 hour free for all session. My goal is to get to 1,000 followers to make my sessions available to people. That way I'm not having to be on TikTok live the way that I used to be in order to get, see, in order to get the followers that I need in order to gain advisement sessions. And so take a real world step. Take a step back and see what stories are you telling yourself or what actions are you not taking within yourself to meet your goals. And then actually take the steps to meet your goals. And then once you have a way forward on this level, on this grounded plane that we are functioning within, then activate something in the spiritual realm with witchcraft to bring you to that point. So now real world example that I just did that you guys can take for yourself that I'm going to watch back and watch myself go through is I'm going to realign my energy with being okay with not receiving payment and understanding it's going to be really frustrating what I'm doing. But as long as I garner followers, then it's equal. And then transmute that into any and all actions I take on live stream will garner me followers. And so reciprocity is transmuted. What is once frustrating and free labor is now being paid for in a way that is free. It is free to follow me on TikTok. It is free to like my live streams. And so I'm going to change my like little information I have on my live stream because I had it free and I received money. And so people were asking me how to pay for it and how to what my charges were and all that. And so I included that tonight and then it completely sidetracked and brought me different clients. And so I'm going to adjust what my actual offer is on TikTok Live. I'm going to adjust my own mindset. I am going to take the energy that I am spending and I'm going to turn it into what I want because my goal is now aligned with my reality. My goal is not to have a fully functioning business because I'm not there yet. Even my website's not even set up yet, okay? How can I have a fully functioning business and I have no website? So before we get to the fully functioning website accessibility at 1,000 followers, I need to get to 1,000 followers. And I have a way to get to 1,000 followers. That is free readings on live with time sessions that are equal and reciprocal. So, I hope this helps. I hope that this really puts things into perspective about witchcraft. If you are unsure about what witchcraft is, or if you're unsure of the legitimacy of it, or you've been really nervous about it, what brought this on was somebody commented on my live tonight that they aren't sure if they believe in witchcraft because they kind of feel like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's exactly what this is. If I happen to get a follower, then I happen to get a follower. If I don't, I don't. But what matters is I am doing something to gain that follower. I am offering free tarot services on live stream in exchange to get a follower. If I don't offer free readings on live streams, I don't get the follower. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That is literally what witchcraft is. Do the work and it'll happen. Don't do the work and it won't. You can leave it up to chance, but if you leave it up to chance, how do you, like, that's like saying, okay, well, I'm just going to hope that the clothes that I want to wear tomorrow won't stink so bad, so I'm not going to do laundry tonight. I'm going to leave it up to chance. And so you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and you're like, God dang it, I should have done laundry. And that's exactly what this is. It's like a God dang it, I should have just taken the steps to make it happen. Witchcraft is a part of the steps, not the only steps. You still have to do the work yourself. So, this is me doing the work myself. I did my YouTube video for the week. It's not perfect. My video isn't upgraded. I'm not in my makeup. I don't feel the best. I'm a little cranky. But I showed up. I did the work. I gave a lesson that I'm compassionate and caring about that has actionable steps on what to do for yourself, real world examples. It literally, you watched me go through my own thing. So, by all of these 8 reasonings, I met my actual goal. My goal will eventually turn into something different, but for now, as long as I show up and do the work, and I'm proud of what I said, and I can stand 10 toes down on what I said by showing it myself that I'm doing it, that is me showing up ethically and aligned and meeting my goals. And meeting my goal this week was recording a YouTube video and posting it. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I really hope that whatever endeavors that you are taking on in your life, you are taking the real world steps that you need in order to meet it, because it will meet you once you meet it. And if you're curious about witchcraft, I'd love to talk more about it. I actually have a email hosting through my website that is not Gmail based. And so I have a professional email that will soon be available for you guys to inquire questions about. If you're looking for any sort of advisement or consultation, feel free to hit me up. Or you can find me on TikTok where I'm doing free reads right now on lives for followers. So there's a way if you want to talk to me about it, you can. But otherwise, that is all for me today. Have a good rest of y'all's day.